Hi everyone, my name is Nur Amalia, binti Mohamad Said, and I am from C8 class. So today I want to take all of you on an exciting adventure into a magical Malaysian rainforest. I would like to share a famous Malaysian folktale entitled Sang Kancil and the Crocodiles. Meet Sang Kancil. This is a story about a tiny mouse deer named Sang Kancil. Although he was small and not very strong, he was known throughout the jungle as the cleverest animal of all. Sang Kancil always believed that intelligence was more powerful than physical strength, and he often used his quick thinking to solve difficult problems. Deep in the heart of Malaysia stood a magical rainforest. Giant trees stretched high into the sky. Colorful birds filled the air with beautiful songs, and a sparkling river flowed peacefully through the jungle. It was a place full of life, beauty, and adventure. One bright morning, Sunkantil skipped happily through the forest. The birds were singing sweetly, butterflies fluttered among the flowers, and the warm sunshine lit up the jungle. Everything seemed perfect. As Sankantil wandered through the forest, his nose suddenly began to twitch. Sniff, sniff! He stopped and took another deep breath. Something smells incredibly delicious, he exclaimed. I simply must find out where that wonderful smell is coming from. Following the scent, Sankantil hurried through the jungle until he reached the edge of a wide river. Then he saw it. On the opposite side of the river stood a magnificent fruit tree covered with golden, juicy fruits. They looked sweet, fresh, and absolutely delicious. Sankantil's eyes grew wide with excitement. His stomach growled loudly. He wanted those fruits more than anything. However, there was a problem. The river between him and the fruit tree was wide and dangerous. As Sankantil looked carefully into the water, he noticed something frightening. Pairs of yellow eyes stared back at him from beneath the surface. 2 eyes, 4 eyes, 6 eyes, 10 eyes. Soon he realized that the river was full of crocodiles. Before he could think of a solution, a huge crocodile suddenly emerged from the water. The crocodile showed his sharp teeth and laughed loudly. "Ha ha 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 ha! Little dear, you look delicious. Today you are going to be our lunch." The other crocodiles laughed along with their leader. The situation looked dangerous, but Sangkantil did not panic. Instead, he sat quietly and thought carefully. He knew that panicking would not solve his problem. After a moment, a clever smile slowly appeared on his face. Hmm, he whispered. I have a plan. Sankanchil stood tall and called out to the crocodiles. Attention, noble crocodiles! I have been sent by the king of the jungle with an important message. The crocodiles immediately became curious. A message from the king? They asked. Yes, replied Sangkanchil confidently. The king is organizing a grand feast for all the animals in the jungle. However, before the feast can begin, he must know exactly how many crocodiles live in this river so that enough food can be prepared. The crocodiles became excited. A royal feast? They whispered among themselves. For us? The leader was delighted. If the king wants to count us, then we must help. He turned to the others and shouted, Everyone, form a line across the river immediately. Without a hesitation, the crocodiles lined themselves up from one riverbank to the other, creating a long living bridge. Sangkanchil smiled secretly. Everything was going exactly according to his plan. Carefully, he stepped onto the back of the first crocodile. One, two, three, crocodiles, 4, 5, 6, go, go, go. 7 crocodiles, 8 crocodiles, 9 crocodiles, 10 crocodiles. The crocodiles felt proud and important. They believed they were helping the king prepare for a magnificent feast. Hop, 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 across the river, let's eat food, I am here. Meanwhile, Sangkanchil continued hopping from crocodile to crocodile. With every jump, he moved closer and closer to the fruit tree. Finally, after counting 10 crocodiles, Sangkanchil reached the other side of the river safely. The crocodiles waited eagerly for the final result. They expected to hear wonderful news about the royal feast. Instead, Sangkanchil turned around with a huge grin on his face. 10 very gullible crocodiles, he shouted. The crocodiles stared at him in shock. What do you mean? Cried the leader. Sangkanchil burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha! I just need a bridge to cross the river. There is no feast. For a moment, the crocodiles were speechless. Then, the entire river exploded with angry splashes. We have been tricked, they roared. We are hungry crocodile, we are hungry crocodile. The sunken tail trick us, lie to us. What a clever conceal! We line up in a row to help conceal across a big river. But can't you lie? Now we are hungry. But can't you lie? Now we are hungry. The leader crocodile growled fiercely as the others splashed and complained. But by then, it was too late. Sunken Chill was already safe on the other side of the river. Cheerfully, he waved at the crocodiles. Thank you very much for the bridge, he called. Goodbye. Then he ran towards the fruit tree. Sangkanchil picked fruit after fruit and happily enjoyed his reward. The fruits were sweet, juicy, and delicious. He ate until his stomach was completely full and his heart was happy. Meanwhile, the crocodile watched from the river, feeling hungry and embarrassed. We really believe him, said the leader crocodile sadly. He sounded very convincing, replied another crocodile. That day, the crocodiles learned an important lesson. They realized that confidence does not always mean truth. They understood that it is important to think carefully before believing everything they hear. As for Kantil, he sat beneath the fruit tree, feeling satisfied and proud of his clever pen. His belly was full and his heart was happy. This story teaches us many valuable lessons. First, intelligence can sometimes be more powerful than physical strength. Second, we should remain calm and think carefully when facing problems. Third, problem solving skills can help us overcome difficult situations. And finally, we should not believe everything we hear without thinking critically. Next, I have prepared some vocabulary list that we can learn from this story. The first one will be fruit tree, and the second one is crocodile, and the last one will be mouse deer. Lastly, for my personal opinion, I think Sangkanchil and the Crocodiles is an enjoyable and meaningful story because it shows how wisdom and creativity can help us overcome challenges. Mm, it also reminds us to think carefully, make good decisions, and use our intelligence responsibly. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you a famous traditional Malay folktale called Nujumpa Belalang. This story is about a man who became famous as a fortune teller, even though he was not really one. Through a series of lucky events, clever ideas, and unexpected adventures, he managed to solve difficult problems and save a kingdom. Let us begin our story. Once upon a time, in a small Malay village, there lived a man named Pak Belalang. Pak Belalang was kind, friendly, and well liked by everyone in the village. However, he had one big weakness, which is he was very lazy. Whenever there was work to do, Pak Belalang preferred to rest under a tree, take a nap, or relax at home. He always tried to avoid hard work whenever possible. Fortunately, Pak Belalang also had a son named Belalang. Belalang was completely different from his father. He was hardworking, clever, responsible, and always willing to help others. He often helped his father whenever there was a problem. Although Pak Belalang was lazy, Belalang loved and respected his father very much. The two of them lived a simple life together in the village. One day, the peaceful village became very noisy. The villagers were worried because two cows had suddenly disappeared. The cows belonged to one of the villagers and were very valuable. Everyone searched everywhere. They searched near the river, they searched near the farms, they searched around the village. But the cows could not be found. On the exact same day, Belalang was walking through the forest. As he walked among the trees, he suddenly noticed something was moving in the bushes. To his surprise, he found the two missing cows hiding deep inside the forest. Belalang immediately returned home and told his father about what he had discovered. An idea then came into Belalang's mind. Belalang suggested something unusual. He told Pak Belalang to pretend to be a fortune teller. At first, Pak Belalang was shocked. A fortune teller? But I do not know how to tell fortunes, he said. Belalang explained that all Pak Belalang had to do was tell the villagers where the cows were. And in the next day, the villagers came to Pak Belalang for help. Pak Belalang tried to look wise and mysterious. He closed his eyes, he stroked his bird, he pretended to think very hard. Then he announced exactly where the cows would be found. All the villagers were amazed. They believed he had magical powers. From that day onward, people start to believe that Pak Belalang could predict things that others could not. Pak Belalang's reputation spread from village to village. Eventually, news of the great fortune teller reached the Sultan's palace, and that was where Pak Belalang's real troubles began. Long after that, a neighboring sultan heard about Pak Belalang's reputation. He wanted to test whether Pak Belalang was truly as clever as everyone claimed. The neighboring sultan challenged the kingdom to a contest. The stakes were very high. If Pak Belalang failed this time, the kingdom would lose. If he succeeded, the kingdom would be safe. The rival sultan prepared four difficult riddles. Nobody in the palace knew the answers. Everyone waited anxiously for Pak Belalang to solve them. The first riddle asked how to determine which end of a log was the top and which was the base. The second riddle asked how to tell the difference between a male chick and a female chick immediately after the hatch. The third riddle was a strange sentence. Once but many, twice but a few, thrice very seldom, for sometimes. The fourth riddle asks where the legendary warrior Hang Tuah's strength truly lay. Was it in his famous grace or in himself? When Pak Belalang heard the riddles, he became very worried. He had absolutely no idea how to answer any of the riddles. The Sultan gave Pak Belalang only 3 days to find the answers. Pak Belalang became so frightened that he wanted to run away. He thought it would be easier to leave the kingdom than face the challenge. He told Belalang, his son, to pack their belongings. Then he asked his son to find a boat they could use. Belalang, as a son, obeyed and went to the river. Neither of them knew that good fortune was about to help them once again. Belalang went to the river to look for a boat so he and his father could escape before the contest. As he walked along the river bank, he noticed a large royal boat tied near the shore. Curious, Belalang quietly climbed aboard. To his surprise, the boat actually belonged to the rival sultan. Belalang quickly hid behind several large barrels when he heard voices approaching him. The rival sultan was speaking with his royal fortune teller. The sultan said, "Tomorrow, Pak Belalang must answer my four riddles. Do you think anyone can solve them?" And the fortune teller smiled confidently. "No one can answer them unless they know the secrets behind each riddle." Belalang listened carefully. The fortune teller then explained all four answers one by one. Belalang memorized every answer given. When the conversation ended, he quietly slipped away and ran home as fast as he could. Breathing heavily, he burst through the door. "Father, father, I know the answers." Pak Belalang jumped from his seat. "What? Tell me quickly, before I faint from fear." Belalang then explained everything he had heard in the boat. Pak Belalang's eyes widened with relief. "Belalang, my son, you have saved me again." And that night, for the first time in days, Pak Belalang slept peacefully. The next morning, the palace hall was packed with people. Ministers, soldiers, villagers, and nobles all gathered to watch the great contest. The Sultan sat proudly on his throne. The rival Sultan sat opposite him, waiting confidently. Pak Belalang walked into the hall. Although he looked very calm, his heart was beating very fast. "Please, let me remember all the answers," he whispered to himself. The rival sultan stood up. "Pak Belalang, answer my first riddle." He pointed to a large wooden log. "Which end is the top and which end is the base?" And Pak Belalang replied confidently, "Place the log into water. The lighter end will float higher, while the heavy end will sink lower, because usually the higher end is the top and the lower end is the base. The crowd nodded in agreement. Correct, said the rival sultan reluctantly. The second riddle followed. Two newly hatched chicks were brought before him. Tell us, which is male and which is female? Pak Belalang answered. Place them in water. The female chick will move ahead, while the male chick will follow behind. The test was carried out. Just as Pak Belalang predicted, the chicks behaved exactly that way. The crowd erupted into applause. Amazing! He really is a great fortune teller. The rival sultan began to look nervous and anxious. The rival sultan asked the third riddle. Once but many, twice but few, thrice very seldom, four sometimes. What does this mean? The hall fell silent. Pak Blalang smiled. The answer is marriage. The audience looked puzzled. Pak Blalang continued. Many people marry once. Few people marry twice. Very few marry three times, but occasionally. Some marry four times. The crowd laughed and applauded. The rival sultan frowned. Only one riddle remained. Very well, he said. Tell me this. Where did the great warrior Hang Tua's strength truly lie? Was it in his courage or in himself? Pak Blalang paused dramatically. Then he answered. His strength lay in the letter T. The entire hall gasped. What do you mean? Asked the sultan. Pak Blalang replied, without the letter T, Tua would no longer be Tua. Therefore, his strength lies in the letter T. For a moment, the hall was completely silent. Then the rival fortune teller slowly nodded. The answer is correct. The audience exploded with cheers. The rival sultan thought for a moment. I'm not satisfied yet. I have one final challenge. Without anyone noticing, he hid something inside his closed hand. He walked toward Pak Belalang. If you are truly wise, tell me, what am I holding? Pak Belalang's face turned pale. He had absolutely no idea. Oh no, he thought. My luck has finally run out. He imagined losing the contest. He imagined the kingdom being defeated. In his panic, he accidentally shouted, Belalang, oh Belalang, I told you not to challenge them. He was speaking to his son, but everyone in the hall suddenly looked shocked. The rival sultan stared at him. Slowly, he opened his hand. Indeed, inside was a grasshopper. In Malay, Belalang means grasshopper. The crowd gasped. He guessed it. He knew what was inside the sultan's hand. The rival sultan could not believe it. Finally, he laughed and admitted defeat. Pak Belalang, you have won. And so, through a mixture of luck, courage, and the clever help of his son, Pak Belalang became one of the most famous fortune tellers in Malay folklore. The end. Before we end our presentation, let us learn some important vocabulary words from the story. The first word is fortune teller. It is a person who predicts future events or tells what might happen. The second word is palace. A palace is a large and beautiful building where a king, queen, or sultan live. The third word is thief. A thief is someone who steals things that do not belong to them. And the fourth word is jewelry. Jewelry includes valuable items such as rings, necklaces, and bracelets. The last word is riddle. A riddle is a question or puzzle that requires careful thinking to solve. Pak Blalong had to answer several difficult riddles during the contest. These words help us understand the story better and can improve our English vocabulary. So, so, so every story teaches important lessons, and Nujum Pak Belalang is no exception. The first moral value is that honesty is important. Although Pak Belalang became successful, the story reminds us that being truthful is always the best choice. Secondly, intelligence helps solve problems. Belalang used his clever thinking to help his father overcome many difficult situations. Another important value is that courage is needed in difficult situations. Even when Pak Belalang was afraid, he still faced the challenges given by the Sultan. And finally, family members should help one another. Throughout the story, we can see that Belalang always support and help his father. Their strong relationship shows the importance of love, respect, and cooperation within a family. And lastly, stories like Nujum Pak Belalang provide many benefits for primary school students. Firstly, they improve listening and storytelling skills. By listening to stories, students learn how to understand information and retell it in their own words. Secondly, stories expand English vocabularies. Students can learn new words and expressions while enjoying an interesting story. Thirdly, stories teach positive moral values. Through the characters and events, students learn lessons about honesty, courage, responsibility, and helping others. Overall, traditional folk tales are not only entertaining but also educational. They help students develop language skills, creativity, and good character. Thank you for listening to my presentation. We hope you enjoy learning about Nujum Pak Belalang. Hayya belalang, son of Pak Belalang. Father very lazy, sleeping all day long. People lost their cattle, worried something is wrong. Belalang found them first, hidden deep among. Come now, father dear, come now, don't be scared. Villagers are waiting, everyone is there. Show them where the cattle are, quickly lead the way. Everybody cheers for you, hip hip hooray. Hayya belalang, Sultan calls you now. Royal jewels missing, everybody fears. Father runs away because he shakes with fear. Then he finds the thief, the answer becomes clear. Come now, father dear, come now, don't be scared. Listen to the thief now, hiding in his lair. Go back to the palace now, quickly, don't be late. Everyone is cheering when the jewels are safe. Hayya belalang, riddles coming fast. King from another land wants to test at last. Father cannot answer, thinking his luck has passed. Belalang hears the answer, save the day at last. Come now, father dear, come now, don't be scared. I know all the answers, now you are prepared. Go and face the challenge now, quickly, don't be late. Everyone is cheering at the palace gates. Hayya belalang, final questions comes. Something in a hand hidden from everyone. Father cries belalang, calling for his son. When the hand is opened, there a grasshopper was found. Come now everyone, sing the story song. Loud and clever thinking, help us carry on. Belalang was wise, help the whole kingdom. That's the tale we share today before we are gone.